We got on this boat last night, and in the middle of the night there was just this splash.
Then I woke up to this empty space behind me and my bag was gone. I have this to my name now, starting from scratch.
DRC has kind of felt like a roller coaster, with so many highs and lows.
I realize he's running a major fever. I'm starting to think it might be malaria.
Positive.
It's good, eh? Oh, no malaria.
Positive is you have malaria.
Jordan's diagnosis throws us a bit, and it feels like a weird joke until he collapses in the market. Turns out Jordan's got, which we thought, 2 strands of malaria, and only one is kind of being treated with the pill we had, so he's back on medication. But the thing is, the medication is what knocks you down for like the whole day. So he just finished the 3-day course and now he's been put on another 5-day course. So, man, we can't really afford to sit around for 8 days, so we're gonna have to make some plan. We're desperately trying to communicate back home for the malaria and the route, just to kind of, and time. But we're stuck here, there's no electricity, no internet, well, obviously. Phones are like the only thing that don't work properly, so I had no luck there. Now we're just parking around, and then we're probably gonna go back and eat supper and then park around and repeat tomorrow. It's terrible. Okay, take 1.
Hi, my name's Jordan.
My name's Luke.
Donovan, I'm a filmmaker.
Environmental science student.
I've always wanted to go to the Congo since reading Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness. You know, it sort of depicted Africa as a savage and barbaric place, and it was something very different to what I'd experienced of Africa.
I first heard about Mekele and Mbembe when I was about 10 years old. Got a very large body, neck like a diplodocus with a long tail. Most of the expeditions that have gone there haven't come back with anything solid. So yeah, it would just be the ultimate claim to find the thing.
We heard of this Don. He was sort of just gung-ho enough to do it.
It sounded wild, and these 2 dudes sounded crazy enough to pull it off. So I said, why not?
Giving George his another malaria test because he's finished his treatment. Another doctor's given him another set of medicine to take, and if he's clear, he doesn't want to take it because it's the medicine that really knocks you out. So it's very confusing, all these things though, so we're just trying to read the instructions. We don't know what we're doing. Just squeeze it out there. I think we might need a bit more blood there. Oh, now we're talking. Losing my bag to the Congo River has proven costly. It's meant that Jordan has had to push through his malaria for about a week without any treatment, and the belated diagnosis means it's potentially at a very dangerous stage. It's difficult to truly capture these types of moments on camera and the real feelings behind it all. We always knew something like this was a possibility, but you can't really imagine it until it's actually happening. We don't have a backup team or extra money we can just call on. We're not even sure we've got the correct medication. Jordan's been hallucinating and it really does just feel like survival. On top of it all, we're running out of time and money, and we're almost lost with where we're at on our journey. We're in a tiny town, Businga, and pushing on means entering CAR, the country in civil war, in order to get visas for the Congo. This whole thing is just starting to sound ridiculous. Mekele Mbembe is probably the furthest thing from our minds, and we know turning around is a big possibility, but right now, all we can do is wait, and it's the most helpless feeling we've had so far.
So it's day 6 since arriving in this little room here in Businga in the Congo, and I'm finally sort of starting to feel like we can maybe leave this place because the malaria's sort of come around. But yeah, it's definitely the most, it's definitely the most hectic sickness I've ever had in my life. And my whole body just felt like it was on fire with this fever, and like, I don't know, it sounds over dramatic, but it's the closest I've ever felt to dying. Like, my body was just, the whole body just sort of started to seize up. Just sort of started going stiff everywhere, like my jaw, couldn't move my jaw. Then it started off with that, and then eventually like I just couldn't move my body. I was just lying there, and then sort of drifted off. I think I felt like I was unconscious a couple of times because I don't have much memory of that. Sort of drift in and out and have vague memories of this room. I think was full of people at one point, all sort of just crowding around watching me. So I've got some memories of that.
Hello.
And then,
Hello. Hello.
how are you?
Hi. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. I'm actually feeling a lot better today.
Really?
Yeah.
Ça va?
Ça va, yeah.
Okay.
I think we go Karawa. Yeah, to hospital. Yeah. Merci.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Eh?
Okay.
It's always funny how in amongst the chaos and like people hustling and everything like that, you always meet one oak that's such a good oak, such a legend that he like saves the whole moment for you. That guy offered to pay for 4 nights of our accommodation while Jordan had malaria, so he's just genuinely such a nice guy that really just wanted to help. So told that this little purple thing is the cure for malaria. It's extremely bitter, it's actually horrendous.
I've lost about 8 kgs and I'm still feeling wrecked. Even just sitting on our truck to Gemina feels sore. The past 2 weeks have made us realize our fragility and how quickly things can turn in Africa, and things aren't about to change. As we leave, a storm rolls in. By the time night falls, the roads deteriorate and we're stuck in the mud. A few passengers jump out with spades, but it seems a futile exercise. I'm still feeling weak from the malaria, and the thought of abandoning our lift to travel on foot is daunting. But at the same time, our truck's going nowhere slowly, and it looks like we're in for a rainy night. It hasn't been the best start back on the road since leaving Businga. First lift, and it's already broken down. When we walk up the line of trucks ahead, and seeing how deeply buried they are, we have no option but to push on by foot. A day of walking and a night on the road, and we're at Gemina. We're tempted to rest up, but we have to push on. This time we're told only motorbikes can travel these roads. Our drivers are fast and reckless, and we quickly realize it's one of the stupidest things we've ever done. Death just feels like it's around every corner, and with 5 of us on 2 bikes, it's not long before we have our first accident. Then another. And by nightfall, we're having a big fight with our drivers.
I'm already falling in. And if I fall again, who can help me? No, man.
Come morning and we're back on the road, but it's not long before we arrive in Zongo. Exhausted, but happy to just arrive in one piece.
Do you want to tell Minxes in Durban how they can get your beautiful fake tan?
So, if you're wondering where my beautiful fake tan is coming from, it's because I spent most of the journey, I was the bike behind, so I was just eating Luke and Don's dust for about 5 hours today. So I was just absolutely covered. Got a few rocks in the face as well. But yeah, this is fake tan at its best.
Yeah, so I've suddenly got that little bit of like an anxious feeling, like you don't know what you're actually paddling into there. Like we haven't even done 5 minutes Googling of what's here or about really. Yeah, like, yo.
Our stay in CAR is short because we don't have official visas, and after parting with a few dollars and a bottle of whiskey, we have to enter back into DRC, where we find ourselves waiting for a boat to Mfundo, downstream of the Bangi River. It takes a few days, but we finally find a boat, and on it, a man who says he knows about Mokele and Bembe.
Is it dangerous?
Dangerous.
Okay.
It's dangerous.
Does it look like this one?
Yeah.
Same. Maybe how big?
Bangul penza c'était bien, il y avait 6 mois, il est armé, ça mingi.
Hey.
You know the paw?
Ngulu. He is the same.
Same size as the hippo, but with like a long neck and
Yeah.
the tail.
Yeah.
And maybe have you seen it?
Yeah, umonango.
Omonango.
Na mona yangu,
Si.
na dia yangu.
You've
Is it
seen
eat?
Na mona, na dia.
Eat there, you see them. You see this
You see this espèce,
Yeah.
but he killed this
He killed
espèce, but he eats.
You eat it.
Yes. He eats it.
Does it taste good? Is it good meat or bad?
Abi,
It's
It's very good
Very good.
for to eat.
Okay.
But this espèce is very dangerous.
I see. Was it difficult to find?
But yeah,
The place you offer.
the place, you know the place. But he say, you know the place. Yeah.
No?
You know the place. But he don't like to tell the place.
I see, okay.
We tried to ask further questions on the creature's whereabouts, but it's clear we are on sensitive ground. I'm confused by the everydayness of Revi's account. For him, this just seems to be another animal that lives in the forest. In my head, I'd always imagined that stories of living dinosaurs could only be found in the most uninhabited, remote regions of the world. But here we are, sitting on a boat, still some way away from the swamps, having a casual conversation about a creature that has no place in my modern world. One thing we have gathered, though, is that we are headed in the right direction, and it's an exciting feeling knowing we're entering Mokele territory. We're now making our way down the Bangi River, which separates the DRC and the Congo. Once we reach Dongo, there's apparently a cargo ship that passes weekly, which can take us to Mfundo, just one stop away from our final destination, the Likoala swamps.
The closer we get to the Likoala swamps, the more prolific the stories of Mokele and Bembe become. It seems that more and more people know about the creature, and as we're told their stories, our anticipation for the upcoming days builds. Who knows what's in store for us?
A few days in Dongo and we're told the ferry is passing. Since leaving Bosinga, travel has not been easy, but it's good to be feeling healthy again. We've been through so much, having traveled so far, and yet only now it's starting to feel like the beginning of things.
In Brazzaville. Fundo Pena. So this one is it running on all 4 legs or just 2 legs?
atambulaka na mabuku na makolonio sokati bien atambula na nini mibale he said 2 another one is just keep it like that and then
running fast.
Yes.
I see. Do many people believe or just a few?
alobi bato ebele balingaka histoire yango to moke. You know what, the people don't like it, that story for this thing. Because they're killing the people, they just do everything not good for them.
So they don't like it.
Don't like this thing.
Okay. So do you think it's possible for us to find it?
Bon, est-ce que c'est facile pour nous bango bamona? Oui. Yeah, for us it's very difficult. I can't. For you people, I don't know. Because you people, you know how you do that. And for us, it's very difficult to see that thing.
Everyone calls this the Cargo Express because the ship is strictly for business and it doesn't stop until Brazzaville. Getting on and off is at the passenger's own risk, and approaching it in our wooden pirogue, we suddenly realize how fast we're traveling. In a single scene, this is the Congo, chaotic and makeshift. For us, completely enthralling. Yet here, every day.
Yo, this is a bit scary.
Holy shiza. Bro, this... Oh my word, bro. This looks like an accident.
Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, God. So go in, eh? Be careful for yourself, eh?
Bro, I'm gonna need help.
Wait.
Film doesn't quite capture the potential disaster in boarding the cargo ship. The wooden ferry behind us was so close to capsizing, and in the mad scramble, I don't know how we didn't lose anyone. Hours later, still buzzing with adrenaline, we're approaching Mfundo, a stop we simply cannot afford to miss, but of course we do. But after 3 months travel to get here, this is not a take-it lying down moment. And after half an hour of fighting with the captain, we suddenly stopped on the side of the river. It's madness, but we're desperate, and so we clamber off onto the banks where we see some fires. Tomorrow's another day, and we'll have to tackle finding a way back to Mfundo then.
The barge we were on last night was supposed to stop at Mfundo, but there was no one to come pick us up, so it just carried on. And we were going to go all the way to Brazzaville, but we ended up having a big fight with the captain, and he just kind of got pissed and dropped us off in the jungle. So we found these fishermen that are paddling us all the way back to Mfundo now. I'm not sure how far it is, but it felt very far on the boat. But yeah, it's better than walking, so...
The
boat only took us halfway, so now we're walking the rest of the way. We've been in the jungle about an hour and already covered in bites. Luke's feeling sick, he's been vomiting. But it's 2 towns left until Lake Tele, or the start of the reserve. So we just passed this sort of refugee camp. I think it's from the war between People's Republic of Congo and Central Africa. So, yeah, but it looks abandoned now, which seems like a good sign. Since leaving Basinga, it's felt like we've been in fast forward, and we've done some serious mileage over the last few weeks. We're tired, but pumped to finally be in the Congo after nearly 100 days of travel. All this way, 10 countries later, and we're finally here. Most of all, I think we're all glad we didn't pack it in and turn around after the malaria. From here, we know we are only a few days' walk from Apena, a village that is considered to be the gateway to the remote communities that inhabit the Lekuala swamp, and importantly for us, the home of Mokele and Bembe. Being so close to it now is a surreal feeling, but we also know that this is where the real hard yards begin, and the journey ahead presents undoubtedly the most unforgiving environment that we are yet to face.
Our entire trip from South Africa has taken much longer than we originally thought, and we're now well into the rainy season, meaning a lot of places are inaccessible.
It's really getting thick now. It's just like this whole jungle is just like closing in on us.
Stories of cameras randomly stopping working, outboard motors just cutting, gave this area sort of Bermuda Triangle feel.
They seem to think that Mokele and Bembe has died out now.
But others believe that it's two young that are still roaming around in this reserve.
I mean, if there was a dinosaur living anywhere, this would be it.